If your meta ads keep breaking, there is a good chance that you are the problem. Every time you turn off an ad because it's not working, you're actually resetting Meta's entire learning system. And you are teaching the algorithm to start from zero again. So in this video, I'm gonna show you exactly what happens in Meta when you turn an ad off, why that kills stability, when it's actually safe to kill an ad, and what to do instead. So basically, Meta is not trying for each ad to have the highest ROAS. It tries to maximize the total conversions at the lowest blended CPA. So basically, if you have a $100 budget or $100,000 budget every day, anyway, Meta will try to get the highest number of conversions for that budget. Obviously, depending on the budget you have and the product you're selling and all of those variables, the cost that you're gonna have is gonna be different. Each impression has a probability bet. So basically, you have an estimated value that is calculated as the bid, so how much you are bidding, how much you say you can pay for each purchase. And when you have a highest value campaign, it's basically calculated automatically. It's Meta that is bidding for you. With cost caps, you have specific bids. Then the CTR, conversion rate, and the quality of the ad for the user experience, basically, in Meta. So basically, Meta says, if we show this ad to this user right now, how likely are they to click and convert? And will it be profitable at the price the advertiser is willing to pay? And if Meta keeps spending on an ad, it means that the system is predicting that it can scale profitably. So basically, the spend is a confidence signal. So when you cut an ad, but it's not spending, you are saying that you know better than the model. So that happens very often, and you say, okay, this ad is not working well, so I'm gonna turn it off because then the other ads are gonna work better. Most of the times that won't happen. When you turn ads off, also like you lose a lot of data because those ads had a lot of data and were learning more. It causes volatility because then the spend has to be redistributed. Like if what happens is that then you have a better ROAS, a lower CPA overall and everything, that's a good result. But most of the times what will happen is that the other ads will take most of the spend and then gets redistributed, and the overall ROAS of the campaign will be worse. The other thing to consider is that the past ROAS and the past data are not the same as the future estimated value. So Meta is, like most people will look at past results and say, this happened for a few times, it will happen again. And obviously sometimes it's true, but Meta is also looking at those data, but it's also like calculating the probability of how good an ad will work in the future. So you have to consider that too. And it has much more data to do so. Basically, yeah, when you turn ads off, it's there are several things that can happen. It's not the best for learning. So you also have the account is less stable because you can't really scale, because every time an ad starts to take a lot of spend, you see the ROAS is a bit lower and you turn it off. And so that can be a big issue. Like maybe you keep mainly active the ads that have a high frequency are actually doing more retargeting because they have a higher ROAS, but then you're seeing that you're not able to scale, the performance over time gets worse because basically the ads were doing more prospecting, they were at the top and maybe had 20, 30, 40% lower ROAS, you're turning them off. So maybe you end up with all the statics, all the product aware ads that are not doing awareness, all the ads that people click and buy. And a lot of ads are actually maybe generating the demand, then they click on another ad and then they buy. So they are also very important in the campaign. When can you turn off an ad? Most of the times it's better to like not turning any ads off. But obviously if you see something is not working, then it's fine to test it, because maybe you say, okay, I want to see if by turning this ad off, the results gets better. So sometimes you have very high CPAs and you want to turn off an ad, and it can make sense. The main thing is you want to check the results you have after turning that ad off, because if you see that the overall ROAS gets better of the business and of the campaign by turning that ad off, then it's great. But if you see that actually the results get worse, then or even stay the same, then you want to reactivate that ad. So that's very, very important. What can happen also is that you have external data that will inform your decision. Sometimes, like for e-commerce, most of the times you optimize for purchase. So you're very close to the end goal. If you're not optimizing for purchases, you want to actually look a lot of the backend data. You might want to turn off some ads that actually are not that profitable by looking at the backend data. Also, even if you are optimizing for the end goal, like a purchase, you may see on the backend that maybe there are segments that have higher LTV, segments that have very low LTV, or maybe are not happy with the product and then they ask for a fund or something. So in that case, you may want to turn some ads off, some ad sets off, or something like that. Also, it might happen that you have promo, so you have promotion, you might want to turn that ad off because the promotion ended. Or maybe there is a landing page for that specific ad, but it's not working well. So those are all things where, like all situations where it makes sense to turn off an ad, obviously. Always check the results you have after turning an ad off. Then what can you do then? In terms of account structure, what we see working super well for our clients is having one CBO. It's normally one CBO per product. If you have very similar products, you can also have a CBO with multiple products. The main thing is the campaign is going to optimize for the lowest CPA. So if you have products where the target CPA is the same, because maybe they have similar price and similar profit margin, then you can also keep all of them in the same campaign. Ideally, they also target the same audience. And otherwise, you can keep them separately, because otherwise the campaign is not gonna optimize well. So you want to have separate campaigns for products with different target CPAs. Then inside of them, now also in terms of campaigns, as you scale, you're gonna see that you might even divide the product in different campaigns and you have one for each angle. That's something I normally don't recommend at the beginning, but as you scale a lot, you are making 1 million a month or more with one product, it can happen that maybe you create every month 4, 8, 10, 12, 20, 50 concepts for each audience, for each angle or buyer persona of that product. So basically treat each buyer persona as a different product, even though it's for the same product. And so you can also have separate campaigns to make sure that you're always targeting those audiences separately. You are keeping that broad, but you have created specifically for that buyer persona. But normally you just want one CBO for each product. Then you want one ad set for each concept. And that was what we were always doing. Now I also did a video about Andromeda. Now there are some changes. In theory, it's better to have less ad sets, not one per concept, but maybe one per each angle, and then you continue to add the new ads instead of the same one. But we are testing that. We see similar results with both. So the main thing is don't use ABOs, because with ABOs, you are actually, you have to optimize the ads, and you have to optimize the ads based on past results. While CBOs basically are like a CBO campaign is able to put more spend on the ads that have a higher chance to convert, as we were saying before. Then you can use CBO with highest value or with cost caps or bid caps. It's not a big difference, because the main thing that we want is that Meta is able to put more spend on the best ads. Then once you do this, then everything will get much simpler. Like, this is a very simple structure. The optimization is very simple. You can just increase the budget 10 to 20% every day if the day before you had results that were above your KPIs. And then you can focus on what actually is driving 80% of the performance or more, the creatives and the offer and landing page you use, because those will allow you to increase your CTR and have lower cost per click, increase your conversion rate, so you spend less for getting each customer, and also with the offer that you can have a higher average order value and higher LTV that will allow you to be able to afford a higher CPA and beat your competitors. So the structure is important mainly to make sure that you can scale once you get good creatives and landing pages, and you're not limiting your ad account. And then you can just focus on testing a lot of creatives, as we talk about in the other videos, and also improving your offer, your landing page, and all of that. So what you want to do is basically leave the main winners running. If you want to test turning off something because the CPA is very bad, then you can test to turn it off. You see after 1, 2 days or 3 days the results, and if the results are worse, you can turn it on again. And if you have better results, then you can keep it off, or you can also try to turn it on again and see what happens then. Because obviously there are other variables that can impact this. Most of the times you don't want to touch this, and you want to just focus on testing new concepts, let Meta optimize. You just increase the budget when it works, decrease when it's not working, and you focus 100% on the creative strategy, not just like random optimizations in Meta. You can just you want to monitor the results obviously and see if you need to change something, but it's mainly focusing on the creatives and the landing page and offer. And if you see, there are a lot of businesses that scale with different account structures. I'm 100% convinced that this is a better structure, but the thing that will help you to scale the most is creatives, right? And this structure also allows you to have a very simple way to manage the campaigns and then put all your focus in having better creatives and just be able to beat your competitors by focusing on that. Basically, if you stop an ad after one bad day or a couple of bad days, it's like if you flip a coin a few times, you get in tails, and then you think all the next flips will be tails. And that's just not the truth. So Meta system is looking at the future based on probability and not based on the past results or the emotion that you have based on what you see happening in the past. So when you have your structure, you see like you have your rules to optimize the campaigns and everything, then and you're basically following what everyone else is doing to scale, and you see a lot of brands are scaling with this structure, then you should just focus 100% on doing the right ads, the right creatives, the right offer, improving landing pages, and that will help you to scale. If you have any questions on this, if you want me to show like some specific examples, or also with our clients' ad accounts, then just ask me on Twitter. You can send me a message, and we have several resources we can send. We can also use your questions to create new content. And if you already spend more than 50K a month in Meta, then you can also book a call from the link below, and we can take a look at your ad account and see if we can help you to scale. Thank you. See you in the next one.